Hello everybody, welcome to one more class. How are you today? I hope you are fine, okay? My picture is not that clear. I had to change my computer, but you are going to be able to see me and you're going to be able to see the digital book, so that's not much of a problem. I didn't give you homework, so we have nothing to correct. Um, but we're going to start with a reading. Can you open your pages? Pages? No, your page on page. Can you open your book on page 40, please? I will share this screen. So this is page 40, and we are going to talk about the reading, right? Open. So guys, in this reading, you will have, we are going to work with some things in the past, but not so many not so much problems, okay? So, letter A. Imagine that you have been invited to stay for a weekend with your partner's family. Think of 3 things that you think it would be bad manners to do. So, you just have to come up, come up with 3 things that are related to bad manners. Can you please stop the video and think about some of these 3 things, please? Okay, some suggestions from the book are not bring presents to the owner, use the mobile while you're having your meals, having dinner or lunch and then you're there with your mobile. Not say please or thank you, this is a bad manner. Use bad language, some palavrões. And say you don't like anything, I don't like the food, I didn't like the house, I didn't like the weather, being a really bad person. This is something that gives you a bad, a bad impression, okay? It's a bad manner to do, okay? Let's do part B. On part B, we have here, read the article. Did Heidi do any of those things? What did she do wrong, according to Mrs. Bourne? Now, look at the title of the article. What do you think from hell means in the context? Okay, so what do you have to do? You have to do 2 things here. First, you have to read this article and see if the girl did something bad. And then you have to try to understand why is the title from hell, okay? So my idea is for you to pause the video and complete part B. Can you do this, guys? Pause the video and complete part B. Go. Okay, let's check. So let me put here, it's going to open something. The answer is, she told Mrs. Byrne food that she liked and disliked. She said she didn't have enough food. She started eating before everyone else. She helped herself to more food before Mrs. Byrne had offered her more. She stayed in bed late, and she didn't send a handwritten card after the visit. So, she wasn't quite a good visitor. She did many things, like, for example, she said she liked, but then she didn't like. She didn't have, she said she was hungry. She didn't have enough food. She wasn't a really good visitor in Mrs. Bourne's opinion, okay? And then it's hell because it was a bad thing, she was sent from hell because she wasn't a polite girl and she was sent from a bad place, like from hell, what it means. Okay, so now what I want you to do, part C. Let's look. Find words or phrases in the article which mean a noun, that means a man to whom you are going to be married. 2, an adjective meaning unpleasant. 3, a verb saying what is bad or wrong with somebody or something. A noun about not having enough of something. 5, a noun about a person who invites you to your house, who you invite to your house. Noun, a person who receives the visitor. And 7, the verb that is to send an email or message you received to another person. Okay? So guys, pause the video and find the synonyms. Okay? According to the text. So pause the video and please find the synonyms. Go. Okay, let's check it. So number 1, a man to whom you're going to be married, it's a fiancé. Let me put it here. Okay, so it's a fiancé. Okay, this is the man. The girl, we say, can I write here? I know I can't write here, but it's with another E, okay? Fiancé. 2, adjective means unpleasant, nasty. 3, verb saying what is bad or wrong with somebody or something, criticize. Teacher, but I have already seen criticize like this, criticize with an S, because it's in the other language, you know. So in this case, criticize with a Z, it's English, and with an S, it's American. Okay, that's the difference. 4, not having enough of something, lack. Okay, falta. 5, a person who you invite to your house, it's a guest. Okay, a person who receives the visitor, a host. Sent an email or message you received to another person, the verb was forwarded. In this case, in the past, okay, because of the ed. Send, sent. Forward, forwarded. Okay. Okay. So this is the meaning. Okay. This forward is the same as encaminhar. Ok. Quando você encaminha um e-mail, significa que você recebeu esse e-mail, você pega o mesmo e-mail e manda para uma outra pessoa. Okay? Really good. Pay attention, guys. Now, what I want you to find. I want you to find, you know, I want you to read this box really carefully. It says, should have. Let me zoom it. Should have. We use should have to talk about something that happened in the past that you think was wrong. Example, you should have written me a thank you letter. You didn't write to me. I think that it was wrong. Remember last class? Last class we saw about models, okay? Let me just open here. For example, you should go to the doctor. Let's say that you tell me, teacher, I'm sick. And then I say, come on, student, you should go to the doctor. But when you have a past situation, for example, teacher, I went to a party even if my mom told me not to. The situation is in the past. Your mom told you not to go to the party. I say, oh, student, you shouldn't have gone to the party because the situation is in the past. You went to the party. A gente não tá falando que você vai pra festa e você quer uma opinião, você quer uma dica. Eu tô falando que você me disse que você foi pra festa e aí você queria um conselho. Aí eu vou falar, mesmo não devia ter ido pra festa, sua mãe não tinha deixado, sua mãe não tinha falado pra você não ir, ok? A diferença é que na de cima, quando é, deixa eu aplicar um exemplo aqui. For example, teacher, I'm feeling sick. Teacher, eu tô me sentindo doente. Então, você tem que ir pro médico. You have to see the doctor, have to go to the doctor. This is in the present. Mas nesse caso, como a situação é no passado, então a gente teve que trabalhar com o verbo no passado também. Por isso que aqui o verbo should é shouldn't, have e o gone, de acordo com essa tabela aqui, ok? E toda vez que a gente fala de algo que deveria ter acontecido, a gente vai usar a terceira, nossa, ficou pior. A gente vai usar a terceira coluna, porque é seguido de have, ok? Não é assim tão, como eu falo, não tão confuso, mas também precisa de um cuidado aí de vocês. Caso a dica seja no presente, beleza, você vai usar no infinitivo. Caso o conselho ou a dica que você vai dar é algo que já aconteceu, ou seja, um conselho do passado, aí você tem que usar o have com a terceira coluna do verbo. Ok? Muito bem. Let's move forward. Really nice. Let's see here, letter D. Now, read some of the comments that were posted on the internet. Write H next to the ones that support Heidi, and C next to the ones that support Caroline. So guys, you have to read here some replies, and you have to see if they are in favor of Heidi, you have to put an H. But if they are in favor of Caroline, you have to put a C. So guys, pause the video and put the letters here. Go. Let's check. I will read them and we check one by one. 1. Mrs. Bourne says Heidi should have sent a written thank you note. However, she sends this letter by email. We are in the 21st century. Nobody sends handwritten letters anymore. So this reply is supporting Heidi. Okay? Why do we hear nothing about Freddie's role in all of this? Why didn't he prepare Heidi? He must know what his stepmother is like. He could also have prepared his family by telling them about any eating problems his girlfriend has. This is supporting Heidi as well. The email was a private communication. I don't think Heidi should have sent it on to her friends. It makes me think that Mrs. Bourne might be right about her bad manners. This is supporting Caroline. The stepmother seems to be extremely jealous of Heidi. Perhaps she wants to keep Freddie all to herself. If I were Heidi, I would leave him. Heidi. The mother-in-law may have a few good points, but she should have spoken to Heidi face to face, not sent her an email. This is supporting Heidi. I think that the one with the extremely bad manners is Mr. Bourne. This is supporting Heidi too. Okay? Mrs. Bourne, I agree with every word you say. Young people just don't have any Boa tarde. Young people just don't have any manners nowadays. I hope Freddie sees sense and finds someone better. This is supporting Caroline. Okay? Really good. So guys, how would you feel? Tell me, okay? So instead of doing part E, I want you to send me an audio explaining your point of view. How? Are you in favor of Caroline? Are you in Caroline's side? Caroline, is it? Caroline, I forgot. Caroline. So, are you in Caroline's side? Are you in Heidi side? Tell me, what's your opinion, okay? Remember that you try to base your opinion on what you saw on the text, okay? But send me this audio telling me what person do you support. Do you support more Carolines or more Heidi's? All right, go. Really good. Now let's move on. Let me just take it here. Let me erase. Okay. Now we're going to do a listening part that something we did last class, but inters it's always about this, okay? Saying and listening and speaking and listening and speaking. So number 5, listen to Miranda Ingram, who is married to Alexander Anikin, I think, talking about the difference between Russian manners and British manners. What was their problem? How have they changed to solve their differences? So guys, try not to do part B. Why is it this color? Okay, try not to do part B. Focus on part number 1, part letter A. What was the problem between them, between the Russian and the British manners, and how have they managed to solve their differences, okay? I will play the listening and we are going to check together.
2.48.
Just a second.
I always thought that good manners were always good manners, wherever you were in the world. But that was until I married Alexander. We met in Russia when I was a student there, and I always remember when I first met him. He came to my flat one afternoon, and as soon as he came in, he said to me, in Russian, "Nalye menye chai," which means, "Pour me some tea." Well, I got quite angry and I said, "Pour it yourself." I couldn't believe that he hadn't used a "could you" or a "please." To me it sounded really rude. But Alexander explained that in Russian it was fine. You don't have to add any polite words. Some months later, I took Alexander home to meet my parents in the UK, but before we went, I had to give him an intensive course in pleases and thank yous. He thought they were completely unnecessary. I also told him how important it was to smile all the time. Poor Alexander. He complained that when he was in England, he felt really stupid, like the village idiot, he said. Because in Russia, if you smile all the time, people think that you're mad. And, in fact, this is exactly what my husband's friends thought of me the first time I went to Russia, because I smiled at everyone and translated every please and thank you from English into Russian. Another thing that Alexander just couldn't understand was why people said things like, "Would you mind passing me the salt, please?" He said, "It's only the salt, for goodness sake. What do you say in English if you want a real favour?" He was also amazed when we went to a dinner party in England and some of the food was, well, it wasn't very nice, but everybody, including me, said, "This is delicious." In Russia, people are much more direct. The first time Alexander's mother came to our house for dinner in Moscow, she told me that my soup needed more salt and pepper, that it didn't really taste of anything. I was really annoyed, and later, after she left, Alexander and I argued about it. Alexander just couldn't see my point. He said, "Do you prefer your dinner guests to lie?" Actually, I think I do. I'd prefer them to say, "That was lovely," even if they didn't mean it. Anyway, at home we now have an agreement. If we're speaking Russian, he can say, "Pour me some tea," and not say "thank you" when I give it to him. But when we're speaking English, he has to add a please, a thank you, and a smile.
Okay, so let's see what was their problem. Okay, let me move it so we can see everything. So they have a very different idea of what manners are. Guys, of course, A ideia é que vocês anotem o máximo de coisas possíveis, mas não necessariamente tudo isso, ok? So, Miranda finds it rude when Alexander doesn't use please and thank you and doesn't smile. He thinks it's unnecessary and ridiculous. But when Alexander speaks Russian, he does not have to add please and thank you. But when he speaks in English, he needs to use please, thank you, and add and smile. Okay? So this is the answers for both questions. What was the problem and how did they solve the problem? The problem is that Russians are less polite than English people. Okay? Okay. Now, let me move it. We're going to do the part B. Listen again and mark true or false. So, guys, pause the video to read the options. Please, go. Okay, so if you read the options, perfect. If you didn't, pause the video to read, okay, and understand. Okay, why we say this? Because when you read before you listen, you make your brain more conscious about what you will probably listen. And you can prepare yourself better of what you will listen, ok? Então, é muito bom pausar para que vocês realmente entendam, ou, sei lá, tentem prever aí o que vocês podem ouvir e o que vocês não precisariam ouvir, ok? But let's play and then you put true or false, ok?
2.48. I always thought that good manners were always good manners, wherever you were in the world. But that was until I married Alexander. We met in Russia when I was a student there, and I always remember when I first met him. He came to my flat one afternoon, and as soon as he came in, he said to me, in Russian, "Nalye menye chai," which means, "Pour me some tea." Well, I got quite angry and I said, "Pour it yourself." I couldn't believe that he hadn't used a "could you" or a "please." To me, it sounded really rude. But Alexander explained that in Russian, it was fine. You don't have to add any polite words. Some months later, I took Alexander home to meet my parents in the UK, but before we went, I had to give him an intensive course in pleases and thank yous. He thought they were completely unnecessary. I also told him how important it was to smile all the time. Poor Alexander. He complained that when he was in England, he felt really stupid, like the village idiot, he said. Because in Russia, if you smile all the time, people think that you're mad. And in fact, this is exactly what my husband's friends thought of me the first time I went to Russia, because I smiled at everyone and translated every please and thank you from English into Russian. Another thing that Alexander just couldn't understand was why people said things like, "Would you mind passing me the salt, please?" He said, "It's only the salt, for goodness sake. What do you say in English if you want a real favour?" He was also amazed when we went to a dinner party in England and some of the food was, well, it wasn't very nice, but everybody, including me, said, "This is delicious." In Russia, people are much more direct. The first time Alexander's mother came to our house for dinner in Moscow, she told me that my soup needed more salt and pepper, that it didn't really taste of anything. I was really annoyed, and later, after she left, Alexander and I argued about it. Alexander just couldn't see my point. He said, "Do you prefer your dinner guests to lie?" Actually, I think I do. I'd prefer them to say, "That was lovely," even if they didn't mean it. Anyway, at home we now have an agreement. If we're speaking Russian, he can say, "Pour me some tea," and not say "thank you" when I give it to him. But when we're speaking English, he has to add a please, a thank you, and a smile.
Very good. So, in Russia, you should say please in Russian when you ask someone to something. This is false. You don't have to use any polite words whenever you are in Russia. 2. Before Miranda took Alexander to meet her parents, she taught him about English manners. This is true. 3. When Alexander smiled at people in the UK, he felt ridiculous. This is also true. 4. When Miranda went to Russia for the first time, Alexander's friends were delighted because she smiled all the time. Delighted is the same idea as happy, okay? So this is false. They thought she was crazy. 5. Alexander thinks that the English sometimes use very polite expressions unnecessarily. This is true. 6. Alexander thinks the English are too direct. This is false, right? Miranda thinks that the Russians are too direct. And number 7, Miranda doesn't think that her dinner guests should criticize her cooking. True. Really nice. They are all correct, ok? Guys, só uma coisa que eu acabei me esquecendo. Aqui na page 40 na verdade. Aqui na page 40, a letter 5 são as duas, ok? Então a letter 5 são as duas pessoas. Aqui tá só H, mas de acordo com o Teacher's Book, ele fala que são os dois. Então aqui vocês poderiam acrescentar tanto a Heidi como a Caroline. Ok? Porque a sogra pode ter pontos bons. Beleza, defendeu a sogra. Mas ela devia ter falado com a menina cara a cara. Defendeu a menina. Então no number 5 são os dois, ok? Eu só quis esclarecer caso ficasse alguma dúvida ou caso alguém tivesse colocado a Caroline, por exemplo. Ok? Muito bem. Moving on. Então, aqui nós fizemos a parte 5B, 5A e 5B. And then, guys, what do we have to do? In letter C, what would people from our country do in these situations? So here, it's your opinion, okay? We have here good manners, bad manners, not important. And you have these all situations. Thinking about Brazilian people, what I would like you to do is choose an answer, okay? I can't tell you which answer is correct and which answer is not, but you can give me your point of view, okay? Really good. Let me just do it. So guys, for today, that's it, okay? Maybe it was a really fast class, but it was a really fast class, okay? Think that on the classroom, we would have to wait for everybody, we would have more speaking, we would have games and stuff. So that's only this. But I will ask you homework this time, okay? What you are going to do the grammar part and the vocabulary part of the revise and check, okay? So let me take notes here. Let me put it here. Okay, so what do you have to do? What do you have to give me from classwork? From classwork is pages. Opa, ages, no, pages. Let me take a look in here because I can see it better when I'm using the book. Just a second. We're almost starting unit number 5. So we did pages 40 and 41. 40 and 41. But you had me to send the WhatsApp audio from exercise. The audio was from exercise 4E. On what is your position? Do you agree more with the woman or with the girlfriend? Remember? And your homework is page 42, grammar and vocabulary parts. Então, as partes de gramática e de vocabulary, ok? Muito bem, that's it. Thank you very much, okay? Again, a pleasure to teach you. If you need any help, talk to me, okay? And see you next class. Bye.